Hello, today we're going to look at example 4.4, financing or comparing financing options for a combine. This is obviously very similar to your assignment 4.4. So if you would go ahead and go through this assignment with me, this example assignment, you will certainly get some tips on how to complete the assignment 4.4. Okay, in this example, what we're looking at is computing the financing options for a combine for a purchase price of $450,000. Okay, the first option that we have is an outright purchase. So we pay cash. Not many of us have that option, but for this example, we do. We're fortunate enough that we have $450,000. We can go to the local equipment dealer and purchase this combine. Purchase option two would be to purchase with an installment contract with a down payment of 20% of the purchase price and 4 equal annual payments with a 7% annual interest rate. So we'll figure out our down payment here in a little bit and our amortization factor to figure out our equal annual payments. The third option is a 4-year lease plan with annual payments of $90,000 followed by a purchase buyout price of $135,000. So we're going to have 4 annual payments of $90,000 on option 3 and a buyout price of $135,000. So how do we compare these three options? Well, what we're going to do is discount our future payments to their present value. This allows us to directly compare the financing plans. Each future payment is converted to a present value by dividing it by 1 plus the discount rate for each year into the future that it occurs. We assume that our average cost of capital minus inflation is 6%. In other words, that would be a 7% interest rate minus a 1% inflation rate. So we can use a factor of 1.06 per year to discount future payments to their present value. Another way to do that, by the way, instead of dividing by 1 plus the discount rate, like it's shown here, what we can do is simply take our annual payment times our present value table number. But you have the present value table from last week's assignments on time value of money. But anyway, let's go ahead. We will use this method here, discounting by dividing by the 1 plus discount rate. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and try to solve these problems. So alternative one's pretty simple. We purchased the combine outright, and the purchase price today is it is the current value. So we're going to compare $450,000 outright purchase price today compared to the other two options, which have a future payment. But alternative one's pretty simple. We said this $450,000 upfront cost of the combine. Alternative two, we paid 20% of the purchase price down and financed the remainder with 4 annual payments beginning in 1 year. The amortization factor for a 7-year 7% interest loan is 2.29523. And where would we get this number? That comes off the amortization table that you learned how to use in the last unit on time value of money. 7% 4-year loan. Well, first we figure out how much our 20% down payment is. We simply just take 20% times the purchase price of $450,000. And if my mind serves me correctly, 20% of 450,000 is $90,000. So that was simple. That means we borrow the rest. 450,000 minus 90,000 is 360,000. Total payments, total combine purchase price is 450,000. We subtract 90,000 that we have down and borrow the rest, 360,000. Now we amortize that by figuring out our amortization factor, which we already have here off of our amortization table. We take 360,000 times the amortization factor to get our annual payment of $106,282.80. So let's outline this then. Down payment of 90,000. Our first payment in 1 year is 106,282.80. In 2 years we make another payment for that amount. In 3 years we make another payment for that amount. In 4 years we make another payment for that amount. We would compute the total out-of-pocket expense for this combine, what we're going to pay for it. If we put 20% down and amortize the rest, our total payment is $515,131.20. Now, if we adjust all those payments to present value, now we do that again by taking the future payment and divide it by the discount factor. The discount factor right here, discount factor 1 plus the discount rate for each year. For each year. So present value is 1 plus 6% is 0.06. So 1.06 to the nth power, meaning n being number of years. So for example, after 1 year, we just simply divide by 1.06 because it's only 1 year. 106,282.80 divided by 1.06 is the 100,266.79. For year 2, we are going to take 1.06 to the second power. Why? 2 years. And if we take 1.06 times 1.06, we get 1.1236. 1.06 to the third power, by the way, for year 3 is 1.191. 1.06 to the fourth power, 1.2625. We're going to divide our annual payments here by each of those discount factors to get our present values of those future payments. In other words, what is that dollar amount that we're going to pay in 2 years? What is that worth today? Well, there are your answers for your present value of the future payments for each particular year. When we add up those present values, we get a grand total of $458,289.78. Lower than our actual out-of-pocket expense, but this allows us to compare today's value of those payments. So it's not a lot more than paying the cash up front for this combine. Again, like I said, another way to do these factors is instead of dividing by the discount factor, what you can do is go to the present value of a lump sum chart that we learned about in the last unit and take 6% in the number of years to get a discount factor, and you would simply multiply that by the annual payment. And that is simpler, might be simpler than taking 1.06 to the second power and third power and fourth power. Let's go on to alternative 3. In alternative 3, here we're going to lease the combine for 4 years, an annual payment of $90,000, and then we're going to purchase it for the buyout price of $135,000. Lease payments are all due at the beginning of each year. So we're going to have a $90,000 payment now, a $90,000 payment next year, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, and then a buyout price 4 years from now. So same thing, $90,000 instead of our annual payments being the amortized factor amounts. We have a $90,000 annual payment with a, and here, by the way, we had an upfront down payment. On the leasing program, we have a big payment at the end. We can buy out the combine at that time for $135,000. So it's a little bit different. Yes, we have an annual payment. Our total out of pocket for this program is $495,000, where it was $515 with the rental leasing program. Well, let's compare to present value. The discount factor, again, we're going to take our annual payments divided by the discount factors. Same discount factors as the last problem. 90,000 divided by 1 is obviously 90,000. 90,000 divided by 1.06 is 84,905.66. The third payment in 2 years, 80,099.68, and so on and so forth. The buyout price payment, 135,000 in 4 years. Today is $106,930.69. When we add up the present values of all those payments, you have a grand total of $437 and $437,502.78. So, interestingly enough, that is even cheaper than paying $450,000 up front. You may think, well, that sounds kind of silly. Why would anyone ever do that? Well, it is possible that that could actually happen if a dealer really needs to move equipment and they can't find buyers. They may do something like this just to get the machinery sold or generate some income for machinery. It does happen. Okay, some questions now. Under which plan would you pay the most dollars before discounting? So that's this column right here. Well, before discounting, it looks like alternative 2. The 20% down, amortizing the rest, is the most expensive before discounting, $515,000. Which alternative plan has the lowest present value after discounting? That would be alternative 3. $437,502. That is less expensive, obviously, is the amortizing, and it's less expensive even than the outright purchase at $450,000. Which has the lowest payment at the time of purchase? That would be alternative 2 or alternative 3. Both of those allow for a $90,000 upfront purchase. First year payment, excuse me. So the last question is totally up to you, but which alternative would you choose and why? You see that there's advantages to each one. We pay the $450 up front. Might be an advantage because we're not dealing with the rental and all that silliness, although what we may think is silliness. But when we do the math, it's pretty hard to argue with the lease payment. We get to use our own money. We only have to put $90,000 up front. Our annual payment's only $90,000, which is less than the amortization. We don't have to pony up the $450,000 up front, so that's nice. The only downfall is we do have a larger $135,000 payment in the end. But if it was me, it would be alternative 3, but you go ahead and choose whichever one you want. That is certainly your business. Hopefully this was helpful to you. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call, drop me an email, or stop by my office, and I'll do my very best to help you out in any way I can. Thanks a lot for your attention, and good luck.